The vehicle next to me is meant for those who really enjoy exploring the outdoors, but they want to do that in the most luxurious way possible. This is the 2024 Land Rover Defender 130 Outbound. A couple of weeks ago, Nile was able to show you the version he had of the 130 Defender Outbound out in Ontario, but I've got a different color and I've got a couple of different features that Nile wasn't able to take a look at, and I'll also give you my opinion of what it's like to actually drive one of these here in Montreal, Quebec, and I've also never driven one in my life, so you'll get that insight as well. So let's take a look at all the highlights of this 2023 Land Rover Defender 130 Outbound. So just quickly to give you a rundown of the engine specs, I have a 3-liter turbocharged straight 6 engine that's also got a mild hybrid system. From that, we're getting 395 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. I've also got an 8-speed automatic transmission, and of course, all-wheel drive, meant for any weather. You can see this thing is an absolute tank. So first up, we're going to take a look at the side profile. Not only because this is the greatest spot where you can see this matte finish paint that I have that, well, it shows the dirt a little bit, but it's not even that bad. And also you can see we have the roof rack, so you can put stuff up there, whether it's a tent or just cargo storage. If you have storage bins, you can hook them up right up there. Very nice. We also do have air suspension. So this is the normal ride height that you're looking at right now. It goes a little bit lower for entry level access, and then we can go to off-road mode, which really raises this thing up quite high, which is very nice. I also have nice mirror caps here with a camera inside because I have 360-degree view for this thing, which is fantastic because parking this thing in small, tight spaces is very hard to do without those. And then, of course, the main highlight, which is why I have the camera set up where I do, is because we have this nice box that comes with it. So you can put some stuff in here, and this box doesn't unlock and lock with the vehicle. You actually need a special key that comes with the vehicle here. So I can insert this key, turn it, open this guy up, take the key out, and it actually holds itself open. So if you have stuff that's maybe, you don't want to get wet, this kind of helps too. Little cargo net in here. There's some warnings of not to store breakables in here because I think things can move around a little bit, but still it's nice to have a little bit of extra storage, especially since, I don't know, maybe you just overfilled the back of this thing and you just want to keep a couple more things in here. It's cool to have, and it looks really cool on the vehicle. And to close it, it's kind of the same process. You just kind of close it and then you give it a little click like this, and it's closed. Boom, no problem. It's locked automatically. To unlock it again, I've got to use this key. So here we are on the other side of the Defender, where you can kind of see more of this back glass because there's no box covering it, but we do have this nice access ladder because, like I said, this is how you're going to access it. So there's a little thing here you can pull out, ladder kind of pops out, and you got to give it a good yank, but it folds down, and actually it folded pretty well in like parked areas, in tight areas. This doesn't actually have that much kind of room to it, and then you can pretty much at this point you can climb it, and then I can kind of step my foot right up here and go like this, and I'm probably out of the shot, but I am able to access my roof rails just with one step on the ladder, which is really fantastic. And then it folds back up, no problem, like this, and then you give it a push, and it clicks into place and doesn't come out while we're driving or anything like that. So really cool highlight that I want to check out. I like the look of it. Makes it look even more outdoorsy, makes it look less like Nile said, like a delivery van or a hyped up delivery van. It really does make it look like you're meant for camping when you have these accessories. So that's really nice too. Okay, so now I have the trunk open. You can see it's like this huge, massive metal door with the spare tire in the back, which is really cool, but that's not really what I want to show you. So the back's open. There's no rear seat, but it has everything that should tell you that there's a rear seat because I have an entire sunroof here. I have cup holders. I've got USB chargers. I've got holders for things. But ultimately, I have a crap ton of room. Like I can kind of slide myself back here, hopefully without scruffing my audio, right? And I could enjoy the sunset or whatever from right here if I wanted to. I've also got grocery hooks, which are really nice and fantastic. But I also have air suspension. So say like I'm a little bit too high, so I could kind of press this button, and I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I'm lowering myself. That's about as low as it goes. But I can go quite high up, I realize. So here we go. There's no way you don't notice this. My eye level from the camera is changing. Bye-bye. See you later. I'm not done. I'm still going. I can still hear the air. Okay, we're still going. Okay, this is as high as it goes. So now the vehicle is properly like this, but it's very cool. I have vents back here. I mean, I have an entire sunroof. Like, it's just fantastic. I even have speakers, so I can hook my phone up to the Bluetooth, and I can control the music from here and just enjoy time. because this is the most luxurious way to enjoy it. And I mean, now look at this. This is going to be embarrassing. I'm pretty tall, but my feet properly hang off this thing now. Whereas before, if I go pretty low, I'm pretty close to touching the ground when I get lower. So here we go. We're going to come all the way back down. This is very satisfying. Takes a while. You can there you go. That's awesome. So that's one of the highlights for the rear of the Land Rover Defender. So you can see you can store a bunch of stuff, or you can just enjoy the nice stuff, or just kind of hang out back here. I even have a normal power outlet right back there to charge all your devices and whatever it is you may need. So really, really awesome. That's cool. Let's hop on the drive and I'll talk about the rest. All right, so now we are on the road with the Land Rover Defender 130. And like I said, I have never driven one of these in my life. So being able to drive one for a week, at the end of the week here, or near the end of the week here, it's been really, really cool. And honestly, I'm just not afraid of anybody or anything in this vehicle. Like, I can handle any weather or any person, really. I mean, I'm just an unstoppable force. I feel like I'm driving a football field. I look at my rear view mirror, which isn't digital, by the way. That's something that Nile had on his trim that I actually don't have on mine. Can't see a digital mirror. I don't have the little flip thing that would give it to me. But when I look there, I can see just how far back that rear window is. And oh my goodness, I am driving what feels like a massive football field. So that does feel interesting. It's one of the more interesting drives I've had. And it's one of those vehicles that, I mean, I've driven plenty of 3-rows, but this one just feels like a 3-row. Like, there's some vehicles that don't drive or feel like a 3-row, but the Defender definitely does. And we have a little bit of performance too. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's more akin to what you would see with like any kind of pickup. But I can push it to sport mode, kind of give it the beams. But again, it's just smooth while it happens. But a really good sound too. The engine actually doesn't sound terrible, but that's not what I've been doing this week. I've been driving mostly in eco and comfort mode, whatever, because I think that's what this vehicle is geared towards. You're not geared towards speed or anything like that, and it compares not in price wise, but in drivability wise, and just kind of like what it is. It looks a little bit too sometimes to me like a Ford Bronco. Obviously, you can't compare the two, like price for price, feature for feature. The Land Rover has way more than the Bronco, I think, has at its top trim, but still, they drive similarly to me. They felt similarly to me. They felt auxiliary. They felt very outdoorsy. It just felt like I could explore the wilderness with either one of them. One is obviously way more luxurious than the other, and like Nile said, you can compare this to something like, I mean, the only thing we can think of is the G-Wagon, and I mean, that is kind of it's up there, but still, it's really, really cool. So also, just comfortability wise, like, I have the adaptive air suspension. I can hear it because this car is silent. There's almost no road noise, as I'm sure you can hear. It's very, very quiet, and the wind is really, really strong today, so I'm sure you can maybe hear a little bit of that, but I can hear the air suspension working as I'm, if I'm going from park and it's going from, entry ride height to normal ride height, I can hear that working, I can feel it working, and it just makes the ride just like a cloud. It's like I'm driving on clouds. There's no problem. I can hit a big crater of Quebec Road and it won't affect me in the slightest. I don't even notice it. The seats are also very, very comfortable. They're heated, they're ventilated. I've got heated steering. I've got cruise control in here. I could do a cross-country road trip in here, no problem. I could probably live in here the entire time that I'm doing that cross-country road trip. It's that good, that fantastic. I mean, I have everything I need in here. I mean, I could probably hook a bunch of stuff up to be able to feed myself and heat up water and all the 9 yards that you probably would ever want to do if you decided to live in your car. And I mean, this is a luxurious kind of car to live in. I mean, it's probably second step to a full RV. It's really, really cool. And I can handle anything. I have a weight sensing thing. I have locking differentials. I've got all kinds of all-wheel drive modes. It's just endless. I've got 360-degree cameras that gives me like a 3D render. It's just endless. They just packed it full of stuff and said, go enjoy the outdoors, but you're going to be the most comfortable person when you do it. So there you go. Also, not to mention, the thing looks like it could take an absolute bullet. Like, it just looks like a tank. It looks like it can get hit by whatever it is and just absolutely absorb the blow. I think, Nile's white looked really cool, looked like a stormtrooper, but mine, I would take mine any day because it just suits the Defender look. The matte black with the black tires, the big off-road tires, like, oof, it's just perfect. This thing in off-road mode looks sweet. It's just really cool. I also love the fact that I have a digital gauge cluster. It's very similar to what we saw on the F-Type, on the F-Pace as well. So you can tell the Jaguar, Land Rover, they're all sharing the same stuff, which is cool because I'm familiar with it right off the bat. The infotainment is good. I feel like some people might say it's small, but I really like how it is. I've got wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto as well as wired, so that's perfect too. I've got so many features that we could probably do an entire other video on if we wanted to, but I think it's fairly easy once you've spent a couple of days with it. You kind of understand what things are for. Will I ever be able to use any of them? No, I don't have a place to take it off-road, and I don't have any place to drive it through like rivers and streams to use the weight sensing and that kind of thing. So it'll be cool if I got invited to an event to do that. I would absolutely jump on the opportunity, but you know, for now, it's just nice to drive it on the Quebec roads, because sometimes in some conditions and in some different roads, I might as well be off-roading when it comes to these roads. So yeah, it's just so comfortable. I've got plenty of headroom. The seat's as low as it goes for me, but I still have quite a bit of room up here, which is really nice, and it's just fantastic. What a great drive. Like, I understand why this is one of Nile's favorite SUVs. It is really, really fantastic. It's loaded to the teeth with features. Premium without feeling too rugged as well, where you can clean it easy, but it's also, you know, I've got good materials in here. I don't feel like I've cheaped out. So is it worth the price tag? I mean, I think so. I think it's very expensive, and I think obviously if you're into the outdoors, there's obviously other cars that do the same things that cost less and maybe have less features. But if you want to do it in the most luxurious way possible, the Defender 130 is just the way to go. It's just really, really cool. And obviously, like, you know, it's funny because last week I thought, okay, I'm not going to get much, or last week I couldn't be left alone. I drove the Jaguar F-Type last week, then followed up by this one, the Defender 130. I thought, okay, this week I should be left alone. It's just a 130. Not many people are interested. Couldn't be farther from the truth. The color and just the way this things look with the ladder and the box on the back, people are coming up to me left, right, and center, just like they were when I had the F-Type. What is that? Never seen that before. Don't see many of those around here, because you really don't. I see the small ones around here, not the big fully loaded ones. I haven't seen any of them in my neighborhood, but don't see any of those around here. Is that new? Where's that from? Defender. Some people haven't even heard of it, which is a little bit wild, but you really don't see too many, at least in my area. So people really like it. I've gone through drive-throughs with it, and people come out that drive-through at the back of it, and that's happened actually a few times, and they're looking at the car from the back and like talking to each other about it. So it definitely is a eye turner, despite the fact that it's black. I think the matte black really kind of shines things through. But yeah, overall ride quality is great. Obviously, fuel economy, I'm at 15.1 liters per 100 kilometers, so, you know, right in that realm, and I'm not pushing it. So it's definitely a big car to lug around, but still, if you can afford one of these things, I think you can afford the bill. So I'd say it's worth the price tag, honestly. I think for what it is and for what Land Rover's trying to go for, and there's really not a lot like it on the market that's kind of in the same price range as it. I mean, like, you have the Bronco, which is way lower, way less loaded. Then you have the Mercedes G-Wagon, which is crazy expensive, and then you have this, which is kind of the mid-tier, and if you can afford it, then you're not going to be disappointed. It's really, really fantastic. So yeah, having driven one for the first time ever, I can't wait to drive more of them. I can't wait to see like the other trims of them if they ever come up for us. I'm definitely going to check out. I really want to see what the smaller one is like. I'm really curious to see what like a fully loaded, like, tiny Defender is. You know, I don't just to compare them. So if it does come up, I'll be sure to check it out. I'm sure Nile will too, so that you can have both of our opinions, and that's kind of the beauty of having multiple people on one channel. So I think I'll go ahead and leave things there for the Defender 130, because Nile already covered a lot of the other stuff in depth as well. Not much has changed since 2022, and obviously me and Nile have sort of the same trim. So I was able to show you the highlights, the things that I like, and then give you my opinion of what I like about the Defender 130. And there's really nothing bad to say about it. It's really solid, really, really premium, and just ready for anything. And it's fantastic. I can haul, I can tow if I think I could probably tow if I need to, and I have enough room for anything I want to do. So that's perfect. Yeah, it's so solid. So yeah, I'll leave the video off there. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you like this video a lot and you want to support us, the best way to do that is to go and watch another video, as well as like those ones. And if you're subscribed to the channel, you can become a member. Whatever you want to do after that is totally up to you. But watching our other videos helps us more than you can know. We've got a plethora of vehicles, a plethora of hosts at this point. So, you know, different varying opinions, which I think is absolutely awesome. So, with that being said, I'll see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care. Boom.